everyone. Good evening, good morning, good day, wherever you are, whatever time you're watching this. And my name is Mante, and I'll be taking you through how to modify your list of figures or list of tables. I mean, the other list aside the normal table of contents. Okay, even the procedure might be the same for the table of content, but yeah, specifically for list of tables or list of figures. So now, before we get these um, list of figures here, will have to be generated. Okay, there's a video on how to generate it, but I'm going to take you through it quickly. Now, if we take a look here, you could see that whenever I click on a particular style of fonts, okay, these are also highlighted. Okay, so you have the normal, and I've only changed the font style to Times New Roman. Other than that, it would have made it a different font style, as you can see here. Yeah, it's different from the normal Times New Roman I've used, but I've just modified it. Okay, and when I click this introduction, it's a heading 1. Okay, chapter 1 is also a heading 1, and this is a heading 2. So this is how the table of contents picks up font styles. So normal table of contents is going to pick up font styles. So heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. Yeah, it could even go to heading 5, heading 6. Yeah, but it's just okay to limit it to heading 3, depending on your institution. Okay, depending on your institution, normally it just ends at heading 3. Yeah, it just ends right here. Now you can always modify your headings or your styles. Okay, so all you have to do is just right click it and you go to modify. Okay, so sometimes you're going to have your font being blue and black, different colors, and no, but normally blue. Yeah, normally blue. And if you want to change it, all you have to do is just click on this and then choose that black color and check the font style that you also want to use and select the appropriate font style and the font sizes as well. And for your heading ones, also choose the alignment, right, as well at this particular side. And these here, these things we see here, they adjust the spacing, right? So these three, 1, 2, 3, adjust the spacing between the lines for a particular heading or a particular star. So I have here as part of the academic calendar, the field trips, the first hand observation, students of that's one long title. That's how it's expected. So when I click on this, it's going to check the spacing between those. Okay, to check the spacing between the headings. So if I have a very long heading, this will check the spacing between the heading, and this is going to close the up. And but these two here will check the spacing between a particular style and another style under it. Right. So this here, when you click it, it's adjusting the space between that particular heading and then a different heading or font style above it, and this will check the space style below it, right? So that's how it works here. So make sure you're familiar with all these, and it's going to really help you. Now, if you also you want a more advanced formatted, okay, you can come here, you click to format, and you go to fonts. Right. Now, your fonts, you can also specifically choose the font style you want here. Your your font should be part here, and then you just select the particular font style you want. And for your normal heading ones, it's actually in bold, and it's supposed to be 12. Now, for you, Matt, the chapter 1 or the chapters are they have font sizes of 14, and then the headings directly under the chapters take 12. It sounds funny, but that's how it is for UMAT. I don't know of other institutions, but for UMAT, that's how it is. And for that, now for heading 2, sometimes you're going to have this small caps check. So you can also make sure that you uncheck that small caps there. Okay, so that's it. I'm not going to change anything there, yeah, because this is actually a text, not a heading. So it's just to tell you that. Now, getting to know the style, this here is a figure. So when I click it, it's no space in here. Okay, when I click this, it's normal selected. When I click this, it's no spacing. So if you want it to appear in a list of figures to create a small an extra table of contents for your figures, then you have to select a style that it will use. So I want all my figures to have the style no spacing. Someone can also decide to use heading 4. Like I said, some allow up to heading 5, heading 6, but if you are just restricted to the heading 3, then that means you can use the heading 4 as the style, right? And you can also click here for more headings, right? And choose the particular heading you want to use. But make sure you don't use normal, don't use heading 1, don't use heading 2, don't use heading 3 or 4 in some cases. So any other heading can be used, right? So that's it, and that's for a figure. Now if you get to a table, so this figure 2 should also have heading, yeah, no spacing, right? That's it. And take a look at this. This has heading too. Okay, now when I get to a table, find a table. There's no table here. Okay, well, we're going to create a table right now. I insert a table. Yeah, anything at all, anything. So we're going to call this table, let's say table 1, sorry, 2.1, and table. Yeah, table for whatever, table for something. Okay, yeah, so that's it. Now this table here, tables are actually put on top and then figures below, right? So this table here, I'll have to also give it a star. Now I'm using no spacing for my figures. I'm using heading 1, heading 2, heading 3 for my table of content. I'm using normal for the text itself. So that means I will have to use a different style for the table. So you can use heading 5, or you can use subtitle. I'll prefer to use subtitle. So either subtitle or subtitle emphasis. Okay, so when you click it, and that's what's going to happen here. It didn't pick it up, so you have to highlight everything, and then that's it. Now you can also modify this. Okay, so you right click it, and then you modify. Let's see the change. It picks up. So we have black there, and for fonts highlighted, and then we'll pick Times New Roman, or the rest is supposed to have the same font style. Okay, and it's actually 12, so that's also set, and it's not supposed to be italicized. Nah, nah, right. So we yeah, we done. Mhm. So that's it. So we see what's happening here. Yeah, it has picked it up. Now we can still do some extra modifications. Sorry, tables are actually bolded, so make sure it's bold. Yeah, you can still do some more editing. So you can go to your fonts, and the small caps is checked. If it's this way, it's almost like it's half checked. So if you don't want it to be small caps, you have to just uncheck it, right? And yeah, that's it. That's it. I think it has some limited stuffs, limited features. So you recommend based on this template, and gonna be bold. Yeah. So again, if you want to control the spacing, but you might mouse down, or the text is almost sitting on the table, right? So first you have to check this and remove spacing after paragraph, and that's going to take care of that for you, right? Yeah. Now if it's still not too close enough, then you come to the layout. Make sure these are also 0, 0, right? and that's also going to adjust it further, right? So now that we have this being a different star, right? Subtitle, don't forget that. And then your figures, we're going to look at few of them for this tutorial. The figures will have no spacing. Okay, so the figures here, when you want to insert your list of figures, you go to references, right? And you're going to see table of contents over here, and you will choose the table of contents to the start. But for now, I want to customize the table of contents. Okay, so that's it. Because it's what I've selected. Now you can still, whenever you do an extra work, you can update the field directly by right clicking, and then it's going to update. It's going to ask you if you want to update the entire table or just the pages. So maybe you introduce something else and then the pages shifted, and you don't want to go through the trouble of having everything else changed. You can just update the page numbers, and aside that, you can also update the entire table, and it's also going to work just fine. And like I said, you can modify your table of figures, your list of figures. Okay, so this is to bring your normal table of content, and you can also insert your table of figures from the side. Okay, so it's going to pick it up. It's going to pick it up for you. Now we'll have to choose the option. You'll have to recognize the style that we picked. Okay, so don't forget the style you picked. So you're going to see the heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, and then we have our figures as no spaces, so we choose no spaces, right? And let's see if subtitles is there. All right, subtitle is there for us. So that means we have subtitle here if we want to use want to create a content or a table for our table of figures. Right, so you're going to choose no spacing here because that's for the figures. And then once we have that, we go to modify, and you click on modify again, and you have this here. All right, now you can choose the font style you want, and make sure, sorry, yeah, fonts. This helps for more advanced formatting. Okay, more advanced formatting. Now, yeah, all these should be set, and make sure they are not small caps. No, right. Now you can see that the spaces between the words are a little too much. Yeah, it's more. It's more because that's not how the texts are supposed to be. They are too the space between them are too it's too much. So you can check. You can correct that by coming to advanced, and the spacing here you see expanded. Just click on it and then choose normal, and it's going to disclose the spaces between them. And when that's done, then you hit OK, and your fonts or your text looks okay. Again, for new document based on this template, that means if you're going to do any new document and then you're going to have to introduce list of tables, list of figures, and you wanted to pick that style, it's going to pick it up. Right. So when you're done, just hit OK, and if it's OK here too, and then make sure you don't have any tabs leading here, and you say OK, we are done. Yeah, and you want to replace the selected table of figures. Now this here, don't be quick to click yes or no. um, the thing is, the procedure is the same for creating a list of tables or list of symbols or any other list, okay, aside list of figures. So the procedure is the same for list of figures, list of tables, list of symbols, list of equations. Okay, so now if you go to yes to replace it, it means that it's going to replace So if it's going to replace the old list created. So let's say I have list of figures there, and then I created list of tables, and I come to replace it. The list of tables will now replace the list of figures. So I will not see the list of figures there again. I'm just going to see the list of tables. So you'll be like, oh no, what just happened? My list of tables, my list of figures just got missing. No, the tables came to replace that. So when you click no, that means it's going to create a separate list for you. So, well, for this particular one, since we is the same list of figures you're working on, then I'll just replace it. I go to yes. All right. So that's it for list of figures, and make sure that the spaces are correct. They are well checked. Right. So this is kind of a problem for you, my students, because you have to highlight all these, and you hold a control, and then you highlight all the figures and click on the delete. I'm not going to do all of that though, but yeah, just for the tutorial. So you click on delete, and then it's going to clear all that for you. And make sure you come here and then hit the tabs and look at what is happening again. So as usual, we have to go and check our tabs. Sorry, we'll have to check our tabs. So there you have it. So big, 6.06. So you have to reset it to 0.2. So that means the first tabs ahead, it will just move 0.2. I said okay, and 0.5, let's say 0.75, 1, 1.2, and okay. So now the first tabs will go 1.2. Next one is going to move it. Next also move it. And what's happening here is it's picking it as it's picking it as a number. So it's better to just use the space bar. Yeah, and you will adjust them. So just try to count the number of spaces, and then make sure they are all in line. You can see that this is not much in line, and also move that, yeah, to the right. That's another problem. Oh, sorry. Tabs would not work. So space. Uh, I ended up doing everything. Delete. There's a little space here, so that was have to go and space. So you're going to have them, yeah, in line. And if it's not really in line, make sure maybe one space, two spaces. Yeah, make sure you check all that and be certain that they are all in line. All right. So thank you for watching this video. If it was helpful, let me know. If there's anything you didn't get clear, you can always leave your comments, and I'll make sure I get to you. Thank you.